Hey Flosstube, my name is Allie and this is Allie Stitches. Welcome to my channel. Today is February 21st and this is episode number 5 of my Flosstube channel. So happy you're here. Thank you so much for watching. If you're new here or if you're returning from some of my previous videos, glad to have you here either way, and so happy we get to talk about cross stitch today. So I do have a lot to talk through today, so I'll just make my opening remarks here really quick. But I just want to say thank you to everybody who watched my last video when I shared my kind of stitchy spot. I had a few questions kind of about a few things. So my chair is from Wayfair. I think I forgot to mention that. And so a couple people had asked about that. And then someone else asked about my floss cone. So I showed in that video, I kind of held up, I have a DMC floss cone of white or blanc, like DMC blanc. I think it was Noah Stitches actually who asked, like, oh my gosh, where can you get those? So I have it right here. So I'll show it real quick to remind you. I actually was really excited about this when it came in the mail when I got it. And then I just completely forgot to share it on Flosstube. I think it was actually maybe right before my first Flosstube episode, so I don't know, just the timing and everything. But yeah, as you can see, it's just a big cone of DMC Blanc. This is the wrapper on that. And I actually got this from 123 Stitch. So it's not like super easy to see on their website. It's not one of the kind of the main drop downs from the thread and floss category. But if you search DMC floss cone, you'll get basically the full list of cones that they have. It's not every color. They don't have every color in the DMC cones, but you can see if you do that way, you can see what they have in stock or what they don't have in stock. And actually with this one, I set up a notification to let me know when it was back in stock, and I went and purchased it right away. I think it is in stock right now, the white one is, but they do have white, B5200, so those are basic kind of white colors, and then DMC 310 is your standard black. That's one of the colors that they have. So yeah, they don't have every single color, but they have a lot of the staples, and not just neutrals either. They have just kind of some more popular colors, I guess, is more likely kind of what they have. But so that's my floss cone. Really excited about that. It is just nice because white does come up in a lot of patterns, and especially doing those Snow Village patterns and all the chalkboard patterns that are popular and that I really like. I found that this was a great way to just always have white on hand and never have to be worried about it running out of stock. And then, right when I need to order some. And so you just always have it. So I thought about doing the same for the 310 color because sorry, all the crinkles, because it is in so many patterns. But just using the amount that is on a floss cone might be harder to get through on 310 unless you have a project that is truly using a lot of it. Yeah, the cones have 450 yards of 6-strand floss on it versus a regular skein has 8.7 yards on it. So it is worth about 50 skein, or there's about 50 skeins of floss on the cones, and then they cost $20 regular price. So compared to 60 cents per skein full price for DMC, in 123 Stitch or various places, it's pretty standard price. If you were to buy 50 skeins at 60 cents, that would be about $30. So it is cheaper kind of, per yard, or, buying in bulk, but obviously you still have to use a lot of 450 yards is a lot of skeins, or a lot of floss. So, but something to consider there. So yeah, like I said, I have a lot of stuff to walk through today. I've finished several things these last few weeks. I've touched a lot of my whips, so I figure I'll just dive right into stitching otherwise. And I don't think anyone will mind too much about that. So I have 2 fully finished items this video, FFOs, if you will, fully finished objects. So the first one is my Farm Fresh Butt Nuggets pattern that I showed in my last video as a finish. So I finished the stitching, and then in the last few weeks I fully finished it and also gave it to my mom as her birthday present, as kind of a belated birthday present. I just hadn't seen her, but now she has it. So I think I said I was going to take a video after I had fully finished it to kind of show that, and then I would insert it here. I didn't do that. Okay, I was already interrupted making this video. I'll probably be interrupted again at some point, but here we go. So I think I was saying that I did not take a video of my fully finished object and my Farm Fresh Butt Nuggets. So I'm so sorry, because I totally said I was going to do that, but I do have a picture. So I'll insert a picture here of kind of the final finish on it. And yeah, like I said, I have that plate that's kind of got the reddish brown border to it, and then took the stitching and put that on a circular piece of mounting board with cotton batting in between there as well, and then glued that to, or I put some fabric around the edge and then glued that all to the plate. So I think I described kind of what I was going to do last week, and I had kind of all the materials for the most part. I don't think I had the fabric yet, and so I do have the extra fabric here. So this is the fabric that I used kind of around the border of the stitching in between that and the plate. And so I ordered this off of Etsy. I'm forgetting the shop name. I can put it here below, but I just searched in Etsy for chicken wire fabric, because I kind of had seen something that kind of inspired me for that, and I've seen a couple things, so I figured I'd go to Etsy. So this is a Moda fabric. I've watched just enough quilting videos. I don't quilt or anything, but watched just enough videos that I believe that's a pretty common quilting fabric, or just fabric company in general. So it is a Moda fabric, and yeah, it's like a chicken wire. It's also kind of like a honeycomb almost. So I can't remember the name of the fabric itself or the shop, but I'll put those on the screen. And that was the fabric that I used there. So that's a fully finished object. All right, and one thing I don't think I mentioned about the Farm Fresh Butt Nuggets pattern was the designer. Her name is Sarah Bridges. Her Etsy shop where I purchased the pattern is LaHooplaCo, or LaHoopla Company, and that's also her handle on Instagram as well. And Sarah, I tagged her in a couple posts about my stitching of her pattern, and she was so sweet. She commented on my post and said really sweet things to say about my stitching, and she said that if there was anything else from her shop that I liked, that I should let her know and she would send it to me. So I took a look at her shop, and specifically, which I'd already obviously looked at because I got that pattern, but she had a few patterns that I really liked, and so I said, like, oh, I've been seeing these, and those have been catching my eye before. And so she said, like, oh, just give me your email address and I'll send them to you. And I was like, what? So I sent her my email address, and sure enough, she sent them to me and didn't charge me or anything. And so I first want to say thank you to Sarah for that extremely kind, stitchy kindness of just sending me a few of her patterns. And yeah, so I wanted to share that here. So the ones that I got, I've been rewatching Gilmore Girls, and I am like almost to the end of the 5th season. So I'm getting pretty close to my second time through watching the series. But in her shop, she has 2 patterns, one like Dragonfly Inn, and then another Luke's, so like Luke's Diner. So these are the 2 patterns that she sent me after I mentioned that I liked them. So if you don't watch the show, these are just kind of like staple like parts of the show. Like Dragonfly Inn is so of the Gilmore Girls, like a mom and a daughter, and the mom like runs an inn. It's the Dragonfly Inn, and Luke's Diner is also a kind of staple of the town that they live in. So watch the show first of all, and then you know what I'm talking about. But yeah, so those were cute patterns that I saw from her shop, and she was just so sweet and so generous to send them to me for free. And so thank you, Sarah. And also got me, kind of my wheels turn in my head about potentially doing a giveaway soon. So I am at like 400 and some subscribers right now. And so I'm thinking that once I hit 500 subscribers that I might do a giveaway, and especially, you know, given this gesture of Stitchy kindness from Sarah, I might just pay it forward a little bit. So once I hit 500, more details to come on that, so keep an eye out. But in the meantime, if you haven't already, be sure to like and subscribe, and so I can do that giveaway once I reach that point. Have one more fully finished object, although it's kind of technically 12 more fully finished objects. For Valentine's Day, or more technically Galentine's Day, I participated in a little swap exchange thing with some of my good friends. There was 11 of us in this exchange, and then I made 12 of these things, and you know, had an extra or two. So yeah, I wanted to do like Stitchy Valentines. So a lot of people gave like sweets or, you know, just cute little cards and things like that. I decided to make Stitchy Valentines. So I gave most of them away, but I do have one here. This was the Stitchy Valentines that I included in that Galentine's exchange. So they are, technically they're fridge magnets. I hope people kind of understood what I was trying to do there. But what I did with these, I took a motif. It's a heart. It's a pretty basic, for the most part, heart, but this technically the whole motif with the string and kind of this little bow, I guess is maybe what it is. I took this off of the February A Year in Chalk design by Hands On Design. And I was working on it, and so I kind of had it right there and had Valentine's stuff on the mind. And so I thought that was just a cute little motif that I kind of plucked from that pattern and stitched onto, I just used 14 count Aida, white Aida that I had on hand. I don't really stitch on Aida very much anymore, but I had quite a bit of just plain 14 count white Aida. And so I used that. And I used DMC 603, which is the pink. Let's see, I have it written down. 498 for the red, and then 310 just for the black. And I don't know. I feel like it didn't really, the string that's kind of like holding it, I wasn't sure what to do there because I didn't want to do like one long back stitch, but it looks kind of weird with it was. But anyway, yeah. So those, I stitched those up real quick. I had them just like whipping them out when I was like on meeting calls during the day and stuff, and then put it on mounting board with batting on it, and then I took another piece of mounting board and took this fabric, which I do have some kind of extra this fabric as well, but you can probably see it pretty easily, of this, and I just got this at Hobby Lobby, so I'm not even sure if it has a designer on the edge of it or not, but yeah, so just put some fabric on another piece of mounting board, glued those together, and then I took this yarn. This is Yarn Bee from, this is Hobby Lobby as well, and this is this velvety smooth line in red. So I had that and just truly just glued that with the Eileen's glue, is that what it is? Around the edge. And then I had this twine. I don't know why I made that face, but this twine from, I think this is from Michael's. I got it when I was planning my sister's baby shower. I used this is like a pink, maybe hard to see the exact color, but it's like a pink and white striped twine, and then I have like a blue and white striped twine, because she was not finding out the gender. So I had both of those, and so I have all this twine left, and so I made this little bow on top there. And then I used really strong, like that E6000 glue to glue a magnet on the back. And these magnets are from Amazon. You can get like a pack like this from Amazon. Stuck to it. So I use that to just put glue, or yeah, what am I saying? Use some glue to put that on the back there. And so really the back, I mean, it looks nice, but it'll be in the fridge anyway. But those were my Stitchy Valentines that I made for some of my close friends. So yeah, this one, I think I have one friend that I wasn't participating in that exchange, but because she didn't want to overcommit herself to kind of making something, but I wanted to make an extra one for her, but then I think that's the last one here, and then I might make another one some other time for my husband, because they're really easy to make, and I have all the materials to do like plenty more, so those are really fun. These magnets though, I'm not going to link them only because I found them through Nell from Little Yellow House Crafts. She has a Amazon storefront. If you go to her Flosstube, and I'll put her name here so you can search it, but if you go to her Flosstube and then on her like main channel page in her like about section, she has like an Amazon storefront that she puts all of her like finishing supplies and other stuff too, but I think she has like a finishing supplies category where she like puts in like magnets, mounting board, glue, like all the key stuff that she uses and orders all the time. And that was where I got these, or like found these magnets, because these are the ones that she uses. So I will point you to her kind of her Amazon storefront, because they weren't necessarily my find specifically, so I'll kind of put that plug in for that. Also, it's a great resource for finding finishing supplies, because I know for me, I'm not familiar with certain craft supplies and everything, and so kind of having ones I know there, someone in the cross stitch world uses and I wouldn't say swears by, but vouches for, and is willing to put that on their storefront like Nell is, then I know it's pretty trustworthy and stuff. So I really appreciate that, and have ordered a few things just from that function that she set up. So those are my fully finished objects. I have also 2 finishes. So these are not fully finished, but I will show the finished stitching at least. So my first one was, oh, no, that's my next one. Okay, so I already put the pattern away, but this was the Snow Village Snowflake Stand from Cottage Needleworks, and I don't know why I just put that on the floor. And this is the stitched piece. It says snowflakes for sale. And these have been my snow day projects. So anytime it snows, I'll get out this piece. Now, since I finished this one, I have not started the next one, even though it has definitely snowed since then. It's actually snowing right now. Look out my window and see snow. But yeah, so this one was really fun. And this is the second one I've done. I have also finished the Skate and Sled Shop. So there's that one. Probably don't need to show that every video I talk about these, but so now I have 2 of them done. And like I said, I have not started the third one, but there are 11 total charts in the series. When I say the third one, I mean like my third one. But I am kind of doing them like how they're listed in order on like her website and everything. I think they're like numbered on like 1, 2, 3 stitch or something. So I don't know. I like doing things in order if there is some sort of order. So I found an order and stuck to it. But anyway, so this is the next one I'm going to start at some point. There's a little bit of a glare. So Peppermint Parlor. And so it's a little bit of green striped little shop, and it's got some peppermints in the window. Yeah, and these are so cute and so fun. So excited to keep working on these, and I'll definitely be working on them for a while. I don't know if I'll stick to my snow day or my Santa Sunday project for today, since it is snowing outside, but it's also Sunday. So we'll see what I do there. But that is that. These are stitched on 32 count linen in Misty Blue. And then the threads are, I'm using the called for threads, but it's kind of a mix of DMC and some Classic Colorworks colors are in there as well. So yeah. this is another finish. And then my last finish, these are all pretty small. No like big finishes necessarily. My last finish to show, I've been doing the Year in Chalk series from Hands on Design. I just talked about the motif I took from this this project for those Valentine gifts. So this is the February A Year in Chalk from Hands on Design. So you hold my heart. So again, these are pretty small patterns, and this is the February version of, it's a whole monthly series. I started them back in September, and so I've been doing one a month. So I'll be doing them through August of this year. That's my plan, at least. Plans always fall through, but I've been sticking to it so far. So I think I'm officially halfway done with them. This would be my 6th of the 12. And yeah, so you can see I like I said, I stole that motif from this pattern here with the heart and little kind of the bow and the string. And yeah, these are on 32 count Belfast linen in charcoal. And I used DMC Blanc, have the whole cone of Blanc. And then let's see, I wrote down 3688 was the other DMC color I used for the pink. So yeah, that was a lot of fun to work on as well. So jumping ahead a little bit to plans, probably before my next video, I will at least have started the March chart for this, which is May Luck Be Yours. So yeah, a little bit of a sneak peek of some plans there. Sorry if I show the pattern there. I'll cut that out if I did. But yeah, so those are my finishes. So now into whips, and now that I've done a whip parade, I know you've seen all of my prior whips that I've talked about. So, like I said, I kind of implemented a Santa Sundays routine to hopefully make progress on some of the Christmas pieces that I was not able to finish this last year because I started all of the things and did not finish them. I think, unfortunately, I actually did not work on this very much in these last 3 weeks. I've even said what pattern I'm talking about. This is the Hello Dear from Caterpillar Cross Stitch. This was a sal that started back in the fall, and then it was done kind of well in advance of Christmas, but I did not keep up with it, and now I'm just kind of inching along. So I'm working on it every Sunday for Santa Sundays to hopefully make some progress on it and have it done before too long, and then be able to display it before next Christmas. So this is what I have, and I did not take a picture or remember even look back at my last video where I was at, but I've been working on this bottom part for a while now. So I truly don't think I got a lot done. I think there was some motifs kind of in here that I kind of didn't realize that I didn't have done. Like, I don't know, just looking at it, I kind of forgot about them. So I think I finished up like this leaf, I think. That might have been there, but maybe I did that one. These little leaves right here, and then kind of started to extend the grass there. But I think I need to get a board. It's kind of hard to see a little bit, but yeah. So I didn't make a whole lot of progress on this because, like I said, I'm only working on it on Sundays, and I feel like sometimes Sundays it should be a day that I get to stitch a lot, but it just ends up not being a day I get to stitch a lot. So I think actually last weekend I didn't stitch at all on Sunday because I had gone to visit my parents who only live a few hours away, but it's it's a little bit of a weekend to go do that, and I went by myself, so like I was driving and I didn't have time to like stitch in the car or anything like that, and it just made for a busy weekend. And then a couple weeks ago, I think I also started these Stitchy Valentines, and I kind of needed to get them done for that exchange, so I did kind of use like some Sunday time because I knew I'm like, oh, I should probably get it, started on these if I'm going to do them. And so I used some Sunday time instead of stitching on this. So not a whole lot of progress on my Hello Dear, but loving it regardless. And yeah, she is planning to release the Hello Petal, which is the spring tree. If you've watched my videos, you know this, but I have done the fall tree, which was Hello Pumpkin, and then this is Hello Deer, which is her winter / Christmas tree. And yeah, so her spring one, Hello Petal, is supposed to be coming out here, I think she said maybe late February, but potentially early March. So it's the spring tree. So I do have, I mean, the fabric I'm using here, which I guess I should mention too, is Belfast linen in white. And I do have enough of that fabric. Like I bought another piece of it that'll be able to fit, or I've already cut it, I think, to fit both Hello Petal and then Hello Sunshine is the summer one that's coming out. And so I have enough fabric to do that. But until I get the list of flosses, and then, you know, I'll be able to start the pattern. I'll plan to purchase it right when it comes out, but we'll see when I start it. Might wait until this one's done, just to kind of give myself some motivation to get this one done. But I do love it. This is such an easy stitch. There are no specialty stitches. They're all full crosses. And I love it. They're such fun motifs and fun colors. Sally Wilson is the designer name for Caterpillar Cross Stitch, and she just does such a good job. And she says too that she obsesses over colors, but I mean, at the end of the day, she does such a great job picking her color schemes for her projects. So love that, and can't wait to keep working on it. Just for some reason, these other things just keep distracting me. All right. So another whip that I worked on, and I'm just kind of going in order from like what I had them, kind of keep track of what I work on in like a calendar. So then, yeah, the next one I had worked on, and I'm kind of didn't really make any progress on it really. So this is Hugs and Kisses from Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery. So I'll put a picture of what it's going to look like here. Because I use the PDF pattern, so I don't have it kind of with me here. And this is what I have done. So really just most of the border, and then just this one little chocolate piece. It's kind of hard to see, I feel like, but it's, let me fold the fabric maybe a little bit better. There's like browns, and then there's like black for eyes, and then kind of like a little smile, and then it's got some pink in it to kind of represent some sprinkles. So it is kind of hard to see, I feel like, on its own and on video, but that's what that will be. So this is a Valentine's pattern, as you could probably tell from the picture. And if you watch my last video, I had started this like quite a while ago, and then actually a lot of the comments on my last video were laughing along with me that I was like, I made an assumption about this border that I was wrong, basically. So the spacing between kind of these little, I don't know, little loops, or I don't even know what you call those, but around the border, I kind of had assumed that the spacing was the same all the way around because the top row of it was the same. So I counted how many there were, and I used the same spacing. Well, they did kind of extend the spacing a little bit to kind of give the design a little more room in the middle. And so I was 2 rows short in terms of my middle part, and trying to fit everything. And there's words as part of it, and just trying to rechart that and make it fit without losing some of that, kind of space. I'd have to go like right up against the border, and it just wouldn't look quite right. And so I did decide to frog it all, and not all. I frogged like the top piece and the bottom so that I could just kind of limit the amount of restitching I had to do. But it definitely made it for kind of a frustrating piece to work on. So I did not get a whole lot of progress on it. I did try to work on it last weekend over Valentine's weekend. But I was busy. I had gone home to my parents, and so did not make a lot of progress on it just due to that time, and then also just kind of, like I said, being a little frustrated with it. So I haven't decided if I'm going to kind of try to keep working on it here in weeks to come, because I know Valentine's is over now, and I feel like, I don't know, this is definitely just more of a seasonal type of design. So I might just tuck it away and, you know, get it out next year and kind of work on it then with this whole debacle kind of in the back of my mind, as opposed to, you know, at the forefront. But we'll see. I don't know. We'll see. This is Belfast linen in baby pink. So it's just kind of a plain kind of light pink. Great backdrop for this. I think it does kind of blend in with one of the, not really blend in, but one of the pinks that I've hardly used, at least, is a little bit closer to the color, but I think it works. I think it works great. So there is that. And the floss on this, I keep forgetting this part. So the floss on this is a mix of, like, there's DMC, but then there's also Weeks Dye Works. So actually the red here and the pink are both Weeks Dye Works flosses that it's all called for colors, but yeah, so there is that. So because this went into timeout, it got a Ziploc project bag instead of my, not like super fancy bags, but I have these other bags that are kind of Amazon. A lot of people have them, but this one went into timeout, so it gets a Ziploc instead. Sorry, I think I had like a fuzzy thing on my arm. Okay. So this is just like Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery parade, mini parade in the middle of all my whips here. So my next pattern that I worked on a little bit was Winter Carriage Ride by Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery. So I'll put a picture here because, again, I have just the PDF pattern. And, oh, of course, I didn't take it off the Q snap. So I did not work on this a lot, not for any real reason. I don't know, I just didn't work on it a whole lot. So I don't have a whole lot. I don't think I put very much progress in the last 3 weeks, which makes me sad now that I'm like realizing that. But I did start, I think I had most of the white here done. And then I did start on this. It's like a seafoam green. I think that's even the actual color name. It's like seafoam glass or something. Anyway, for kind of some more, I guess, snowflake motifs kind of throughout this little band here. So yeah, I just kind of started on that. I really haven't done much on it since last time. But I do love it, and I do like how it's stitching up. It's really pretty. These are, these two colors here are Weeks Dye Works. I think the bottom one is just a DMC color, if I'm recalling correctly. But, yeah, I think as I move up in the pattern, it's going to be a lot more fun. I mean, not that these aren't fun, but it's just going to get more fun, I think, as I move up. For, you know, whatever reason, I started to start in the bottom and work my way up. And, yeah, I don't know if there's much else to say there, but it is cute. It is fun, and I just haven't worked on it a whole lot. So the last Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery piece that I worked on is the Christmas Wreath. So they have the Christmas Wreath Club or Sal or whatever they're calling it. And so this is a pattern that's getting released in parts throughout 2021. It started really in 2020, but they're also releasing parts through, you know, the fall of 2021. So I just finished part 3 this last week, and so that's where I am. So I'll show that here. Here it is. And part 4 was just released 2 days ago, so Friday, and today's Sunday. And so, dang it, it happened to me last time too. So part 4 will just continue to go up. Can't hold it up here. We'll continue to move up on the side of the wreath there, and there is another big ornament, and there's like a Santa head, and I'm so excited to keep working on it and get to part 4. So I just kind of want to show it just with like part 3 today, so that's why I kind of didn't work on it. And I also had another new start that I'll talk about here in a little bit. But that is why I did not start, I guess, yet. I kind of wanted to show it as is, not kind of mid part 4. But I will work on that here in the next few weeks. So this is one, it's pretty easy to keep up with, and it is one I want to keep up with, so I'll continue to do that. But this is Belfast linen in gingerbread. As you can, if you can't tell, I like Belfast linen. It's nice like soft linen to work with, and it's 32 count, and I really like the look of 2 strands over 2 on 32 count. It's very full coverage to me, or good coverage, not full coverage in a strict sense, but this is all full coverage really. Kind of within the pattern, not like an actual full coverage piece, but yeah, and then all the call for colors are like just DMC, so that's what's going on there. They just released their 2021 SAL. Usually they like have a SAL every year that's about like 12 parts, released once a month, kind of a typical annual SAL. So they did release a little bit late this year due to supply issues, which, no fault of their own by any means. But it's a 10-part series, so starting in March, and then we'll go through the end of the year. And it's called Cozy Cafe. And I did not pull the trigger yet on it, but I'll maybe insert a picture of like their sneak peek on it, because I think there's just like, they just gave a little bit of a sneak peek on a couple of the drinks. But it's a 10-part series of non-alcoholic beverages, basically, of like, so my mind goes to like coffee and tea, but the examples that they have were also like matcha, and I think someone said something about like sparkling water. I don't know if that was them or someone speculating, but it's a super cute pattern, and I didn't pull the trigger on it. All right, I say it's super cute, but I just know it's going to be super cute because it's Frosted Pumpkin, and even though it's a mystery SAL, and the sneak peeks were cute, so yeah, anyway, should be a cute pattern. But yeah, I did not pull the trigger on it for no other reason than just to, I don't know, probably wait and spend my money in a month rather than now, I guess. I don't know. I'll probably join it right when it starts, but I need to, kind of look into fabrics that I want to do with it. If I want to do the called for or not. I did not take it or buy the kit, I guess. They had very limited number of kits, and those sold out very, very quickly, not surprisingly so. So if I do it, I will kit it up myself and get the floss and then pick my own fabric and just buy the PDF pattern, because that's just generally the way I go anyway. But yeah, we'll see if I join that one, which I'm leaning toward yes. And even the fact I'm talking about on my video, like, I'm probably going to do it then. But I will keep you all updated on that one. So, okay, so that was the end of my little mini Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery parade. All right, so the next project that I worked on, this is one I showed in my whip parade, and I hadn't touched for like a long time before that. Of course, I still have like a hoop on it and everything, but this is one that was just kind of like was one of my first projects that I started, and I was like, oh, that'd be fun, and I do, and I was just like trying to find ways to cross stitch everything, but so I found like cross stitch letters, kind of big block letters, in an issue of World of Cross Stitching magazine, and it's that magazine is, I can't remember if I described this in one of my last videos, but it's like a free magazine on my library's like ebook site, basically. And so I'm able to, kind of check out the magazine from there. And magazines are like always available. Like, they don't have a limited number of copies like they do like books and stuff, and audiobooks. So I could like check it out for like weeks and then return it and then check it out again and everything. So what I did was kind of just like saved like the pattern, because I know I can always go back and get it. So it's just like more convenient to do it that way. Because it is, a free pattern in that sense to me because of my library card, I guess. So anyway, yeah, it was a set of like Christmas letters, and they were like big block letters. And so they were done in like a plaid, like a Christmas plaid, with the reds and greens. And I just took like the outline of the letters basically, and I am spelling out my dog's name. And I'm going to kind of put these letters onto, we have like a bone shaped little basket thing that his like leashes hang from, or, his stuff. And then it's got like a little basket that we can put like, doggy bags, like the, when we go on walks and stuff, poop bags. When we go on walks and stuff can fit in there, or like extra treats, or just kind of random stuff. And so it's wide enough, and I can fit these letters. Once I stitch them all up, I'll probably mount them on mounting board and do kind of the typical finishing of it. But yeah, so I guess here's where I'm at. So I think when I showed it at my whip parade, I had the M and the U done, and I just didn't work on it for like a long time after that. But what I've been doing is like stitching these, because they're easy to stitch like when I'm on calls for work. So I work from home. So I'm actually sitting at my desk right now, and it's really easy for me to like throw a pattern kind of up on the screen and like have it. And these are really easy. I'm not changing colors a lot. And what I'll do is basically when I'm on a call where I need to be like engaged and even potentially even talking, but it's hard for me to like multitask with like other work, or I don't need to be like sharing my screen or like literally doing something. I just need to be like part of the conversation, or what have you. And so I'll just kind of have this sitting next to me, and I'll, these are pretty simple patterns to follow, just a little bit of counting, and then, and very few color changes, because I dictated that I was just going to do every other letter in these two different colors, because I wasn't sure if I had enough of either to do just them all in one color. So, but what I've been doing, as you can probably tell, I've been just doing one leg of the stitch. For the most part, I'll, kind of finish my thread, or this is a spot where it's easier to kind of go back down and then just kind of keep going. And then I finish the thread here. And, I've been doing that with the intention that then eventually I won't even need the pattern. I'll just be able to, they're easy enough as they are, but I'll just be able to grab an extra piece of floss and, just go and finish the other leg. I think I've heard a lot of people doing this when they travel. They'll stitch one leg of a big part so that when they're traveling, they don't have to have the pattern. They'll just be able to, grab the floss that they need based on, just eyeballing it, and be able to just, stitch the other leg. And that's, a way you can get a lot of stitching done in times when you're not maybe able to have your best setup, I guess. And so that's been kind of my intention with this, is to get it to a point. So even though I'm also doing the part with the pattern while I'm working, it'll be even easier for me. Like, if I'm in another meeting and all I have to do is the second leg, and I don't even have to pull up the pattern or anything. And so what I did yesterday, we also, we went out to eat with, some good friends, and we called the restaurant ahead of time, and we knew that we wouldn't be able to get in right away. It'd be like about a 45-minute wait, and it ended up being like 30 minutes, but we drove there, had someone go in and give our name, and then we actually sat in the car, even in the middle of winter, but it was fine with like the heat on and everything, and we just like sat in the car and waited for our table. And so I grabbed this because I knew that, hey, I already have this all stitched. I don't need a pattern. All I need is, this, the hoop I put on it, and the floss. And I did grab my scissors. So I have like most stuff, but it's the pattern I feel like is always kind of hard, to maneuver and have available. And so I just grabbed this, and in the half an hour we were sitting in the car and chatting, I just kind of, kept working my way back up this L here. So, I think I'll be able to get through a lot of that stitching, just like during work and stuff. of stuff, which is kind of silly to say. And I definitely have, you know, I'm very privileged in the sense that I have a job that, you know, I can do that, and very fortunate for that. But yeah, so I have the L's and then the I, and so I kind of had put a pin where I'm gonna kind of start the G at. Like I said, his name is Mulligan, so Mulligan. So 8 letters, so I'll be able to finish it on this piece of fabric. And so that's kind of been my goal with that. This is DMC, or sorry, I guess the threads are DMC. They are ones I had on hand already, but I didn't have a lot of, so I was just trying to kind of, that's why I'm using 2 different colors. Let's see, I thought I wrote it down, maybe I didn't. Oh shoot, I didn't. I guess I have it somewhere. They're DMC 937 and 823. I don't remember which one's which, but yeah, 937 is the green, 823 is the blue, like a dark blue navy. So that is that. Oh, and then this is Belfast linen in natural. The color, and I think I got that at Hobby Lobby, so kind of an easy one to obtain, at least where I live. We have a Hobby Lobby very close to us. All right, I have like needle minders everywhere here in front of me because I keep taking them off of projects and not putting them back on before I put it away. So all right, the last whip that I had shown in the past and that I have worked on, I'm technically doing a restart. It's like I said, I touched a lot of my projects. So this is, I'm going to technically have this as a restart, because I think I even talked about it in my whip parade. I started this piece, it's a full coverage piece, and I started it on linen, like Belfast linen. And after the fact, I'm like, why did I do that? Why did I start a full coverage piece on linen? I don't know. Don't know why I did that. So, I wasn't very far on it. So I thought that I might just go ahead and restart it because I feel like I didn't put quite enough work into it to really have it be a loss. I did, you know, it was several days of work, but, or, you know, stitching. So a few hours each day. But I think it'll be something that's easily able to, I don't know, I won't feel like I'm like restitching it really. So anyway, the pattern is, I don't know why I didn't say this, pattern is the Augusta National Golf Course, and it's by Awesome Pattern Studio, I believe, the name of the company. So this is what I had when I showed it in my whip parade. So the full coverage piece is going to be about this big. I think I, you know, measured my margin to be the same on either end, either side. So this is what I had done. And as you can see, so this is on Belfast linen. So it's 32 count linen. And this, even just this dark green up here, you can really, you know, it's kind of, you can see through it. I'm not sure if I'm loving that. And, you know, it's hard to get my stitches to lay right and all that jazz with linen, and with a full coverage piece there's no reason to put it on linen. So I decided to restart it, and therefore I can kind of salvage the rest of this linen. I can, you know, cut this off, or yeah, I don't think if I want to like pick that out, but I could, you know, I can cut it off and secure it, and then I'd have a pretty sizable piece of linen for a small project or two. And so this is effectively a UFO then, unfinished object. I bought this 18 count Aida at Hobby Lobby when I was there one day, and I just went ahead and restarted it. So yeah, going to 18 count will be a little bit smaller stitches, but I actually, when I was thinking of, so my mulligan sign, and kind of thinking of like, oh, I'll just do one leg of the stitch, and then when I go back to it, I, you know, or I can pick it up later and all I have to do is do the other leg of the stitch, and I don't have to like look at a pattern and everything. I was actually thinking of this pattern when I was kind of thinking of that. And so I, went to this pattern and kind of take a look at it and decided I wanted to restart it. I hadn't even put any more stitches into this since last time I showed it. So I just kind of, from the get-go, I decided I think I was just going to restart it. So that's actually what I did. I started this, and I started in a different spot. I was starting in the upper left corner. So now I'm starting in the bottom left corner. So this is a different color. But you can see I don't have a lot there. Hopefully it's focusing well enough, but I'm just doing one leg of the stitch for now. And then, when I return back to this, I'll continue to probably do the one leg of the stitch for a while. And probably, during my like good stitching time, that's what I'll do is, follow the pattern and do the one leg of the stitch. And then, when I'm working or when I'm on the go or something, it'll be a great project to grab to, then just do the other leg. And as you saw in the picture, and I'll maybe put a picture here, put the picture here again. As you can see, it's a pattern that has like a lot of big blocks of color, which is also something, this is one of the first projects I started, and I'm still kind of figuring out what's fun to stitch. And I'm not sure these big blocks of big blocks of color are as fun to stitch as I thought, they might be. I mean, I think if I'm just kind of in the mood for like monotonous stitching, without really, having to think too hard or read a pattern too much, this will be great. But especially I think for things like on the go, or, when I get to the point where all I'm doing is stitching the other leg, I think it will be nice to have, for that purpose. And so I did restart it, put some stitches in it. I'm going to kind of take that approach to it. But I'm going to focus on that mulligan piece first, because I think that'll be really easy to knock out. Even just being able to do the 3 of the other 6 letters that I had already, I already have them half done. I think that'll go by really fast, and so I'll knock that one out, and then I'll kind of switch to this as that project or that purpose. And yeah, I do have one new start, and this is also kind of the start of my haul. So I've talked about this pattern in the past. So I already had the pattern, but I, in the last few weeks, obtained the materials to stitch it. So the fabric and the floss and everything. And I've been seeing so many people working on this pattern. It's so funny. I posted a picture on my Instagram of like the fabric and the floss, like right before I started, and I didn't say what I was going to start. And then like Roladex Stitches, Carla, commented on my picture, and she's like, "Ooh, what are you starting?" And so I responded, and then she actually like messaged me and was like, "I just started the same." And she was like, "Same, like I just started the same thing." And so she's posted it on her Instagram and everything as well. So might have gotten a sneak peek already. So this is the Modern Folk Embroidery 2021 Sal, and it's called the Fruits of Plenty. So here's keep showing sneak peeks. So here's a picture of what it's going to look like. And here is my start. So I am using DMC 550 and DMC 553. So I don't have a whole lot of the lighter purple yet, but yeah, so the darker purple is 550 and the lighter purple is 553. And this is my start. I'm stitching this on 40 count Mallow linen. So this is my first time doing 40 count, and I'm really loving it in terms of like the count and like how fine the stitches are. And it's pretty like tight linen, so the stitches just lay really nice. And with 40 count, I'm only using 1 strand of floss over 2 fibers of the fabric. So but I still feel like I love the coverage of that 1 strand over 2 on 40 count. So I'm really loving this fabric, and it's actually very reasonably priced, this 40 count Mallow. If you kind of compare like a cut of fabric to other fabrics, it's very reasonable in kind of the cost. So loving that. And yeah, I'm going to mostly follow the pattern in terms of, there's 2 colors. So it's, like a darker color and a lighter color, were kind of suggested. And the mock-up version, as you can see, is in like blues. But I've been seeing so many people working on this project, and everybody's been taking really cool, artistic, creative liberties with the colors and the fabric and the color choice and everything. And a lot of people have been doing like extra colors. They won't just do the 2 colors. So I've been kind of thinking about doing this. So part of the reason I'm doing it in purples, purple's my favorite like rainbow color, if you will. And you can see I painted my walls in my office here. I think I talked about that in a past video. Like a light purple. So my intention is I'm gonna once I finish it, it's huge. You can see how much fabric I have. It's a huge pattern, but once I finish it, frame it and put it on the wall in this room, assuming we still live in this house when I finish it. We'll see what that looks like. But what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, so that's kind of why I chose purples in the first place. But then I also, in this room, or just in general, I would say my actual favorite color is like gold, which I know, like, okay, gold, yellow, like technically part of the rainbow, if you will, but I think of gold as like, its own neutral in a lot of, ways. And that I would say is probably more like my real color because yeah, I just drawn to it in all sorts of ways. I don't know if it might show up in the frame in the actual video. I have this like wax warmer. My cousin sells Scentsy, which is like a multi-level marketing company of like wax melts and everything. And they have this whole bunch of products. But anyway, so I got this warmer, and it's like this really pretty like gold thing. I'm really sorry if it's like not in the frame here. Maybe I'll turn it to make sure for sure that's in the frame there. So I love that. And just in general, like my earrings are gold. I don't have a whole lot else in my office here. Oh yeah, I guess I have like all these like office like things. And I have like a magazine holder thing over here that's like gold. So I love like gold accents on everything. All that to say that one thing I want to do with this pattern is incorporate gold Kreinik, and I think it'll look really good with the like purple. I know it's like not everybody's like vibe, but I love like gold and purple. It's very like royal, and not that like is relatable in any regard, but I just think it looks so elegant. But yeah, so I have some ideas of how to incorporate this with the pattern. I haven't obviously done any of that yet, but I want to incorporate it in places that make sense and are overall like symmetrical, if you will, like, just within the pattern you look at it, I don't want like a big concentration of gold in one area and not very much in another. So I've been thinking of ways to do that, and I actually did send Carla Roladex stitches, kind of my ideas, and she thought they were great. And then yeah, my best friend who does not stitch but is obviously very aware of my stitching, I sent her kind of thing too, and I was like, as a non-stitcher opinion, like, what do you think of this idea? And I basically just like drew on the picture of like the design. So I'm not sold on it necessarily. Like I might tweak it as I go. But I do have some ideas of how to incorporate it throughout. So hopefully I'll have some update on that. So like I said, this is the 2021 Sal, and this is Modern Folk Embroidery, so it's Jacob. He is releasing the parts. He broke it into 12 parts and is going to release one a month. So I did not start this until just this last week. And so I'm starting, part 1 in the middle of February. So I'm already like a month and a half behind basically. So, and then also like, this is a lot of stitching. It's a lot of stitching, and I'm loving it. It's very addictive and I love it. But I'm not going to try to hold myself up to, catching up might just be impossible in the first place, but keeping up in general might be very hard. So that's why I kind of joked. I'm like, I don't even know when I'm going to finish this, but I'm probably going to stitch on this a lot here going forward. I do have some other things that I want, but this might be, a key focus piece for at least some time, because I am loving it so much already. So yeah, that's my new start and part of my haul. So yeah, the haul was really this fabric, and then the thread. So I think he gave how much thread you're going to need if you're stitching it 2/2 on 32 count. So because I'm doing 1/2 on 40 count, I was able to cut that down. So I bought 7 skeins of each color, and I'm hoping that's plenty for what I need, because I really don't want to have to purchase more from a different dye lot later down the road, because I know this is going to be such a long journey of a project, so I don't want to have to deal with that later if I run out. So I am a little worried. I do only have the 1 roll of Krynic. I actually purchased this when I was at an LNS in Florida in December. And so this is, let's see, it's 002C is the exact color. So I don't know, it's 11 meters. We'll see. Hopefully this is enough to do what I want, but if I start running out, like, I think I'll be scattering the gold enough that hopefully there's no like concern of if I have to buy another one, it's like a different tint or something. Hopefully I'll kind of separate the motifs that I am incorporating that gold in enough that that's okay. But we shall see on that. I say hello to Flosstube. Say hello, Flosstube. Yeah. So sorry if you could hear him like scratching at the door to the office. Here, I had it closed. So I let him inside. Let him say hello. Yeah. All right, back to stitching. Okay, so hopefully people enjoyed that interruption. So yeah, that's the end of my actual stitching. I do have a little bit of haul to go through. This video is already getting very long, so we'll just kind of power through here. So first thing of haul I had seen other people talk about these in their videos, so I decided to give them a try. They are these fabric huggers. They're these little like loop things, just from Amazon. If you search like fabric hugger, you can find them. But what they do is when you have stitching that's on a Q-snap, or the idea is, I guess, that you can use them to hold the extra fabric that you have kind of on the side of the Q-snap like that, and it just like keeps it in place. And people have really raved about these and so that they help a lot, or they work really well. I wouldn't say I disagree. I think it's good for like mid-sized projects that have just a little bit of extra fabric. However, I was trying so hard to get them to work with this modern folk embroidery humongous sal, and I'm even doing it on 40 count, and it's still just so much fabric. It's not like too much margin around it, but it's still just so much extra fabric, and I just could not get them to stay with that much extra fabric. So I wouldn't say that's like end all be all solution. This is actually my like go-to solution, is like using pins, which for the most part works, but does make for a slightly painful experience on occasion if you poke yourself. But yeah, for smaller projects that you just have, just enough that it's in the way and it bothers you. So I don't have anything else on a Q-snap right now because I took one of my earlier projects off, but that winter carriage ride, right now I'm just using like a 6x6 Q-snap to use, and it's taller than that, and so I have quite a bit of extra fabric, kind of top to bottom wise, that it does kind of get annoying, for that extra fabric to be hanging over. And so it is nice to roll that up, and it works really well on those. But yeah, it's definitely not kind of for every project, and it definitely hold, it's not like the most secure thing on the planet, but they do help. And so I recommend them for, I can't remember how much a bag of these was, and I have a few extra over there. So there's, more in the bag here. It says 14 pieces. So there's 14 of them. and it was maybe like $7 or $8. So I think they're worth it to have on hand, and they definitely help, but I guess it's just my honest review of using them for the purposes of cross stitch, but give them a try. Definitely give. My next piece of haul is my Fortnite Fabrics Fabric of the Month Club fabric for February. So this is the little card. This is their their business card. So there's their information there. Makes my editing job a little easier. And so this is the card that I got that they put with all their fabrics. So Fortnite Fabrics is Derek and Christian. They have a Flosstube channel. It's called Married with Stitches, and I've been watching their videos, and they're just hilarious. Definitely go check them out. But I signed up for their Subtle Samplers Fabric of the Month Club. So I get a piece of fabric every month. As you can see, I signed up for the 32 count linen option, I guess, but they do have, you know, Aida and even weave and various different counts there, so you can check them out and get all sorts of different kinds. But I decided to do the Subtle Samplers club because, you know, it is how it sounds. I wouldn't say I do a lot of samplers necessarily, but I wanted to build up a fabric stash of. Okay, hopefully the lighting is good. So hopefully the lighting is good. I feel like that's pretty true to color. Might be kind of hard to tell. Let me fold it in half and see if that helps. Yeah, there we go. But look at that. That is just absolutely gorgeous. And I just think they do such a great job with the modeling on their pieces of fabric. It looks so great. And I signed up for the Subtle Samplers because I really did want to just start building up stash. It's not like I stitch a lot of samplers, as you can maybe tell. The Modern Folk Embroidery is really the first kind of one that even remotely kind of reminds me of a sampler. But, you know, I wanted to kind of start building up my stash. And so this is the second piece that I have. I do have the one from January kind of kitted up for a potential project in the future. And I'm thinking I might use this for the Cozy Cafe Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery Sal that I talked about earlier. So might look into doing that. I don't know. It's kind of hard to sometimes like pick a fabric for those types of things if you don't know, you know, how all the details of the pattern and making sure the colors all make sense. But I think at least I could get to the floss list and I could do a floss toss if I wanted. But I think this would work really well, actually. So if I do that, I'll probably use this fabric. And then therefore, like, it's just a matter of buying the pattern and the floss. Like I said, I'm probably gonna do it. But anyway, so that's another piece of haul that I had, and it's absolutely beautiful. All right, and then my last piece of haul, which I talked about in my last video because I had already ordered it. It was on the way. But I am going to be participating in Evelyn Across the Pond and Megan Georgia Girl Stitching's Stitch Along Sal for the Celebrate Madame Chantilly series. So they are doing the winter Celebrate Winter tiered tray design by Madame Chantilly, but I am going to do the 4th of July Celebrate 4th of July tiered tray. I don't know why I chose this one specifically, but I want to do the entire series, so I just like picked one, and I feel like I wanted like a 4th of July piece coming along at some point, so that's why I just chose this one. But yeah, look at that. It is so cute. And so yeah, Madame Chantilly has done, there are 8 trays, I think. She has all 4 seasons, so winter is her most recent one, but she already had a spring, a summer, and a fall or autumn tiered tray. I keep wanting to say trees. Tiered tray. And then she also has, so 4th of July, Halloween, Christmas, and Easter are the 4 holidays that she has of these tiered trays. And they are just so adorable, and I want to do all of them. So I'm probably going to do all of them at some point. So I just needed the kick in the butt to actually get one ordered and started. So thank you to Evelyn and to Megan for just hosting the sale and doing that. So I did purchase the paper pattern of this from 123 Stitch, because again, this was one that has been out for a while. She did just release the winter one recently. So I know Evelyn and Megan have talked about how you can reach out to Madame Chantilly on Etsy. She does not list her pattern, or the patterns, at least for this series, as PDF patterns anywhere. But she does have an Etsy site where you can purchase the paper patterns, but also they said that you can message her and she will sell you a PDF version just outside of that. You just have to like message her separately and she'll do it that way. But she doesn't like actively market them that way. So, like I said, I purchased the paper pattern of this one, and it's multiple pages, and I'm just not, I don't know, if I can get a PDF pattern, I typically prefer that. And so I think I had known that you could message her and get the PDF, but for some reason I still decided to purchase it through 123 Stitch. I don't know. But so I think this one will be, you know, I'll be fine for the paper version of this one, but as I do the rest of them, I probably will reach out and purchase the PDF, which if I'm going to do it once, I might as well purchase them all at once. So Madame Chantilly, watch out, because I'll probably be messaging you and purchasing all 7 of the other tiered trays all at once, because it probably just doesn't make sense to do it that way. So yeah, so I have the pattern, and then I have most of the floss. I think I might be missing a few of them. Oh, I know. It calls for DMC. It has the threads kind of along the back here. So it calls for DMC, but even on like right below the key, or the first kind of like page of stuff, she recommends or kind of suggests that like, oh, if you prefer, here are some classic Colorworks colors that you could use instead of a few of the colors the DMC that I suggested. So it's almost like she provided, like the DMC is what it's calls for, but she provided a classic Colorworks conversion for a few of them, as opposed to like providing the DMC conversion. I don't know, whatever. I don't know if that makes sense. But anyway, so what I did was I ordered all the DMC, and then I got, you know, I have it all. And the 2 colors that she suggests, or, you know, recommends, not recommends, but if, you know, kind of provided that conversion for, were the red color. So the, you know, what's it, this 4th of July, I think it calls for DMC 815. And so she suggested bandana for that one, which I kept reading as banana, and so I was like, there's no, what yellow are you talking about here? It's bandana, so that's the red color. And then I think it's the blue, or if there's, I don't know if this is 1 or 2 different blue shades, but I think it's probably the one that's like the A and the star. She suggests, or, you know, she kind of recommends wavy navy as a classic Colorworks color that you could replace that with. So I might actually do that. But I did order the DMC as if I wasn't going to do that. I think, I feel like I also, like, I thought I had ordered all the DMC, and then I apparently am missing one. So I don't know. I need to kind of just like finish getting what I need for this one. But I am going to start it this week for Evelyn and Megan's Celebrate Madame Chantilly Sal. I can't remember if that's the exact hashtag. I'll put the hashtag of what it actually is right here, based on what they've said. But they are going to start that on February 26th. So excited to start that. And then the fabric that I got, I also ordered. So I ordered this at the same time I ordered my fabric for the Modern Folk Embroidery sal. So I also ordered more of this 40 count mallow for this. So these are pretty big patterns. I think I am going to need, this is a 13 by 18 piece. And I think that was appropriate even on 40 count for these pieces. So they're not small. I mean, there's obviously a lot of kind of like blank space and everything. They're just, you know, pretty tall and then everything. So they're, you know, it's not like full coverage or by any means, but they're not small pieces either. But yeah, so I did the 40 count mallow, and I think it's just going to look great with how my stitches are laying on that modern folk embroidery piece. I think I'm really going to love how my stitches lay and how this, you know, I just love the look of how her stitches are and her model pieces. And so I think that's going to kind of come through, kind of doing it on the mallow piece here. So if I like that, I'll probably do that for all the tiered trays. And this is, as I mentioned before, this is a pretty reasonable price for linen and everything. And given it's 40 count too, you can get away with a little bit smaller, you know, size of fabric and everything. So anyway, so that's my last bit of haul and also kind of my plans. Let me see if there's any other plans that I had. I already talked about a year in chalk, start the March one. And then, yeah, I'm starting this Sal, and then continuing to work on all the things. Might have a start on Cozy Cafe. I can't remember when the first release of that is. Maybe that won't be off until after my next video, but might have the supplies at least and everything ready to go for that one by my next video. All right, so that's all I have for today. Thank you so much for watching, especially if you're at this point in the video. Thank you so much for staying with me here. Have a great rest of your February and beginning of March. I'm looking out my window right now and it's still just snowing like crazy, and you know, winter can be very beautiful, but I'm so excited for spring and so excited for the warmer weather. You know, and speaking of that too, you know, my heart goes out to everybody that's been affected by, you know, the kind of extreme winter storms that we're passing through. You know, I follow a lot of people on Flosstube or Instagram who live in Texas, and I've just been thinking of you guys so much these last few weeks with everything going on. And, you know, I hope everybody's been staying safe, staying warm, has, you know, power back to at least some extent, and is able to get the things that they need. I've definitely been thinking of everybody during this time. So thank you again for watching, and I will see you in a few weeks. Bye.